Say la, say la, for all that is. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is such a beautiful day. Another great Wednesday. Welcome to the Dunn Wisdom Morning Show. My name is Melissa P. Dunn. I am the CEO of MD Marketing Network and the founder of this Dunn Wisdom movement. And I am so happy to be here with you today. This Wednesday, lots of great news across the nation. Thank you to all of you who turned out and voted. In the city of Lauderhill, we are retaining the current commission. Our mayor, Ken Thurston, won his race. Super excited about that. And I think today's conversation about personal branding really is going to support those of you who are really looking to step more fully into who you are and to show up in a way that's authentic to who you are so that you can win more, lead more, and earn more money. So let's dive right into today's session. The topic for today is called the power of a personal brand. The power of a personal brand. Now, what is a personal brand? Well, Jeff Bezos says that a personal brand is really what people say about you when you're not in the room, right? It's the little things that people talk about you when somebody makes a phone call to ask for a reference. That's really what your personal brand is. It's your reputation. It's the way you show up. It's the way people perceive you both online and offline. Now, Tim Ferriss is one of my favorite people. I read his book. I've read his book, The 4-Hour Workweek. Haven't quite figured out the magic of making that happen for myself yet, but it's an aspirational goal, right? So here is what he says about personal branding. He says, personal branding is about managing your name, even if you don't own a business, in a world of misinformation, disinformation, and semi-permanent Google records. It's all about managing your name, right? So he says, if you're going on a date, chances are that your blind date has Googled your name, all right? If you're going on a job interview, ditto, they've probably Googled you too. In fact, I want you to do that at the end of the show today. Google yourself and see what shows up. See what your online reputation is, right? That is such an important tip. It's such an important tool. So basically, the end of the day, your personal brand is about your name. It's a reflection of who you are, right? And you get to decide what that looks like. You get to decide on what your personal brand is. And a personal brand, you have one, whether you know it or not. The question is, are you intentional about it? The question is, are you cultivating and crafting your brand in such a way that it's going to support you in your business? Or are you just kind of, blowing in the wind? Right? So I'm going to share with you today some benefits of a personal brand. And equally as important, I'm going to show you how to cultivate a personal brand. It's 3 steps. And I hope that you'll pick one and get started today. So first, benefits of a personal brand. Listen, a strong personal brand will put you in a position to lead more, win more, earn more, and grow. And who doesn't want that, right? A person with a strong personal brand is more likely to be selected for leadership roles. So if you're in your company right now and you're trying to get to the top, a strong personal brand is going to support you in getting those leadership roles, getting that promotion, right? And if you have a strong personal brand, you win more as well. You win more contracts. You win more opportunities, right? Because people love to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And as a result of winning more, you'll earn more with a strong personal brand. In fact, research shows that people with a strong personal brand earn more money than someone who does not have a strong personal brand, right? And of course, with winning more, leaning more, and earning more comes growth opportunity. So those are 4 very specific benefits of having a strong personal brand. Now, how do you cultivate a powerful brand? Well, honey, I'm breaking it down for you today. And you're going to want to take notes. You're going to want to screenshot this. So, 3-step process. First, you got to get clear. Second, you got to tell your story. And third, you've got to deepen your relationships. Now, what do I mean by getting clear? Remember, I said that your personal brand is something that you get to define. It's something that you get to be very intentional about. And it's you, it's who you are, it's your name, it's no one else. There's only one you. There's only one Melissa P. Dunn, okay? No one else can do me like me. So, in order for you to cultivate a powerful personal brand, you got to start getting clear about who you are. What are your core values? What's important to you? You know, your core values are those non-negotiable parts of who you are, the way that you want to show up in the world. Me, my personal brand is a woman who keeps her word, who does what she says she's going to do when she says she's going to do it. My core value is impact, right? I want to have impact in the world. I want to use my life to transform communities and impact lives. I want to promote global understanding. These are part of my core values. This is how I define myself. And so every choice that I make in my career, every choice that I make in my business, every choice that I make in my social media, offline, online, all of that should reflect my core values, right? So you've got to get clear about who you are. That's the first step in having a really powerful personal brand. You've got to figure out, well, how do others see you? And how would you like them to see you? How would you like the world to see you? So, for example, remember I shared with you that one of my core values is for me to do what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it. That includes doing what I say I'm going to do for myself, right? So if I make a commitment to go run, then I'm that woman that's going to go run, right? So a part of getting clear about how the world sees you is for you to just really kind of ask, for you to do that research, Google yourself, go online, see how people are commenting. And equally as important, pick 3 or 5 people that you trust that will tell you the truth no matter what. You know, you might, hopefully you have at least 1 or 2 of those people in your life that's going to tell you the truth. And then ask them, say to them, how do you perceive me? And then look to see if the way that they perceive you, the way that you're showing up in those relationships, the way that they're experiencing you aligns with how you define yourself. So one of my questions that I get to ask, I haven't done this exercise in a while myself, but I get to ask, well, am I the type of person that keeps her word? Because that's part of my core values, and that's how I want to show up in the world. That's how I want people to see me. Then if my friends say, or my business associates or my clients say, well, you know what? You're always missing deadlines. You don't show up when you say you're going to show up. You don't do what you say you're going to do. But I say that's how I want to show up in the world. That's how I want to define my personal brand. And there's a disconnect. Do you see what I mean? So that's where the work is. So that's why it's very, very important for you to get clear about who you are and what your brand is. And then from that space, then from that space, you know that you can do the work to improve your personal brand. And the way that you show up, you guys, it's not just online, it's online and offline. It's in your business relationships, it's in your family, it's the way you are when you walk in the room. All of that says something about your personal brand. All right. So again, cultivating a personal brand, step one is to get clear. Get clear about your core values, get clear about how others see you, and then take those two pieces of data and see, do they align with how you would like the world to see you? And if there's a disconnect, that's where your work is. That's the opportunity for you to shape and cultivate your personal brand into one that supports your vision of yourself and your vision of how you want to show up in the world, right? So after you do step one, then step two is to tell your story. And nobody, honey, nobody can tell your story like you. And believe it or not, you're telling a story right now. The question is, are you going to do it, be intentional about it? Are you going to be purposeful about it? Or are you going to let the world kind of define who you are in a very random way that doesn't necessarily benefit you, right? So how do you tell your story? Well, number one, now that you're clear about your core values, you're clear about how you want to show up in the world, then you've got to find your own voice. You got to find your own unique voice, right? And you've got to be authentic to yourself because nobody can be you. You are divinely created, uniquely and powerfully made, and no one can do you like you. All right. So find your voice. And then one of the things that I do is identify a mirror brand that inspires me. And actually that's an exercise, on the marketing side. I have two companies. I have the coaching business, MD Marketing, Dunn Wisdom. And then I also have the marketing company, right? MD Marketing Network. And I very rarely work with individuals with personal brands. But when I do, I take them through this exercise and I say, you know what, let's identify after we do the core value work. And we've kind of figured out how they want to show up in the world. And now we're starting to craft their story, right? So one of the things that I have them do is I say, all right, now go online. Think about somebody, within your sphere of influence, maybe a business that you want to emulate, right? Somebody that's already has the customers that you want, somebody that already has the brand presence that you want. Look at that CEO, look at that leader, look at that individual that mimics where you want to be with your personal brand, and let's use them for inspiration. And then we do a deep dive to say, what is it about that personal brand? The way that person shows up online, the way that person shows up offline. What is it about them that inspires you? And how can we help you to get there, right? That's a really simple but powerful trick to help you to create the foundation for your own personal brand. Now, I have two personal brand mirrors that I love to, that I'm aspiring to. One of them is someone that I'm sure a lot of you are looking at as a mirror brand for yourself. And one of my personal brands, mirrors, is Oprah. Why do I love her personal brand? I love her personal brand because she stands for some of the core values that I stand for, like truth, integrity, kindness, gratitude, really using your skills, gifts, and talents to have impact in the world. Those are shared core values that we have together, right? And I love the way how she is a smart, insightful, intentional businesswoman. And she knows that you can do good and make money. And those are things that I value as well. So I look to Oprah as a personal brand, how she shows up in the world, online and offline. And that's something that I am looking to emulate, right? Now, another personal brand that I'm looking at is Mayor Danielle Levine Cava in the city of, in Miami-Dade County. I love the way how she shows up in the world. Her energy is so calming, and she's a really powerful leader. And so that's a mirror personal brand for me that I'm looking at as I am thinking about my political career, as I am thinking about the type of leader that I want to be in my community. And so that's one way that you can really begin to tell your own story, right? That's one of the steps. After you found your own unique voice, then I want you to identify the people that inspire you. And then the third part of telling your story is now you're going to begin to tell that story online and offline. Now, how do you do that, right? Well, you do it through the way that you treat people. The way that you treat people, that tells a story about you. I mean, are you the type of person that when you go into a restaurant and you place an order, that you're kind to the waitresses and the waiters? Or are you the type of person that's super demanding and mean? Right? So the way you treat people says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about your core values. It says a lot about your personal brand. And those in-person encounters, boy, they could set you up to win or to lose, right? So be mindful of how you treat people. Then the way you show up in general, the way you move, the way you communicate, the energy that you bring to the space, that says a lot about you as well, right? That's a way that you're telling your personal story. And of course, your personal style tells a lot about your personal brand. Do you, are you dressing for the life that you want? Are you dressing for the promotion that you want? Are you dressing for the type of clients that you want? Or are you still dressing like you're in college? Do you know what I mean? That tells a story. And then, of course, the type of content that you put out in the world says a lot also about your personal brand, right? So do an audit right now. Google yourself. See what's online about you. See what's happening on your social media. Are you the type of person that says that you are seeking a career that is powerful and growth oriented, but when you go to your Instagram, you are half naked? Like, there's a disconnect there, right? Like, what are you putting out in the world? What kind of content are you sharing? Are you positioning yourself as an expert in your field? Are you positioning yourself as someone that's bringing a lot of value to the world? The content that you put out says a lot about you. So, be mindful of that. Tell your story. It's not just online. It's about how you treat people. It's about what you say. It's about what you do. Very, 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 very important. Okay. Now, final step in creating a powerful personal brand is deepen your relationships. Wow. People love to do business with folks that they know, like, and trust. They really do. At the end of the day, it's all about relationships. So listen more than you speak. And when you do speak well. Use what Thich Nhat Hanh called right speech, meaning that you use your words to build up rather than tear down, meaning that you use your words to speak life in yourself and in other people, meaning that you use your words that move you and your business and your career forward, that moves your community forward rather than keep you stuck in fear and scarcity. Be mindful of your words. And then do right. Do what you say you're going to do. Take the actions that align with how you want to show up in the world, and be present. You know, your personal brand can make or break your business. Your personal brand can make or break your career. It could be the difference between being a $10,000 a month earner or a $10 a month earner. And I think if you're smart and you're intentional about crafting a personal brand that aligns with how you want to show up in the world, then things will come to you, they will flow to you, that you will become a magnet for all of the things that you're asking God for. So just know that you have everything you need inside of you in order to be successful. And it's so important for you to be mindful about how you show up in the world and how people perceive you, because that, ladies and gentlemen, that is where your personal brand is. So if you are looking to earn more money, my encouragement is for you to take some of these tips that I shared today and put them into action. Help it to work for you instead of against you. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Dunn Wisdom Morning Show. Join me next Wednesday. We are inviting one of my favorite people, a personal stylist, Robin Duncan. She's going to be here to talk about personal style and how that can support your brand. All right. So go out and rule your day. Be easy. Remember, be kind and loving to yourself today. You absolutely deserve it. Be well.